If you've done any kind of programming before, then the concept of variable shouldn't be new to you. Loosely speaking, a variable is a container that is used to hold a value. In CSS, the purpose is not different. A Sass variable can be used to store the value of any commonly used CSS property. Let's see how this is done in Sass. Okay, so this is how we left off the last time. Now, in this case, we manually just put in the green color. And what happened here is that if I need this particular green color in 10 other places, I will have to manually create them again. And if by the following day, I feel like using a lighter shade of green or a darker shade of green, I will have to go to those 10 places and update them. And that will be quite a challenge or task. To avoid such problem or challenge, I can create a variable to store this color since I know that I might reuse it in several places. So to create a variable in Sass, you use the $sign followed by the variable name. So let's say we want to call this variable header color. I can say header dash color and give it the hexadecimal equivalent of that green, which should be 008000. That should give me green. Now, I can now come to where I literally assign green to the color here and reference the variable, like so. By doing this like this, I now can access this variable that stores a value of green anywhere in my project. If I have 1000 CSS file and I need this header color, I can access it. And if tomorrow I have to change it, very easy. I just come to this one place, update it, and it cascades across the other places where I use it. That's one of the things that Sass avails us as developer. So all I need to do now is compile my code again, and it should still keep working just like before. So if I say npm run Sass, that should compile my Sass. As you can see, there's no error generated, and even though I go to my style.css, it's going to be the same thing. Of course, it won't be the same thing because this time around, I am using the hexadecimal equivalent of that green color. And so you see it has reflected. Okay, and if I go to my page, everything will still have been the same. Something you will note is that each time that I do something in the main.scss file here, I have to manually recompile for that change to be picked up and generate the corresponding CSS. That's going to be a big challenge if you have to work on a large, even though it's just 10 lines of CSS, that's going to be a big challenge for you to keep on recompile anytime you make any change here. So to avoid that, in my script, I can add the watch flag to it. And to add that, just say -w. With this flag, anytime I make any changes to the main.scss file, it will automatically be recompiled and generate the corresponding CSS without me having to manually do it as we're doing it. So now, if I run the command again, this last time, it should compile my code, of course. And if you take note now, you see Sass is watching for changes. Press Ctrl+C to stop. That is, if you want that watching to stop. So now, with what I have here, it has recompiled now. And if you take a look in my style.css, of course, the same thing is still there because I have not added anything. But let's check out whether indeed it's actually watching out. So let's say I bump up this font size to say 60 pixel, save the changes, and look at that. It has compiled automatically without me having to run that command again. And if I go to the page now and refresh, you see that the heading is now font size 60 pixels. With that, we don't have to now manually compile our code each time we make changes to this main.scss file. So that's variable for you. That's one of the main features of Sass that make it stand out or have an edge over just the conventional CSS. In the next class, we'll look at yet another amazing Sass feature.